Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. What the mainstream media won't tell you about the Comey Memo. The New York Times published a report yesterday that alleged President Trump told FBI Director James Comey to drop the investigation into former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn. The unnamed source told the New York Times that Comey wrote a memo about Trump's request. Now the media and liberals are going wild. They're calling for impeachment of President Trump. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. Now, don't get me wrong. I will not be engaging in hypotheticals here. I have enough respect for you, my viewers, not to do that. I'm not a Democrat. I don't jump to conclusions before I know the facts. If the memo is real, show it to me. Show it to Congress. Then, when I have the facts, I'll tell you the severity. But here are some questions we should be asking, and I'm sure the mainstream media won't ask them, so let's do it ourselves. If the Comey memo is true, why didn't James Comey reveal this memo to Congress immediately after it happened? Why didn't he quit the FBI? If Comey didn't tell the Department of Justice about an attempt to obstruct justice, isn't Comey himself criminally liable for that? If the Comey memo is true, why didn't James Comey tell Senators Burr and Warner about it when he met with them just days before he was fired to discuss in depth the Russia investigation? If obstruction of justice occurred, why did acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe testify under oath just last week that the Russia investigation wasn't impeded in any way and was continuing full tilt? Surely he would have been aware of that memo. Why aren't Republicans and Democrats alike calling for all memos written by Comey to be released? I'm sure Comey had memos on Hillary, Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, President Obama, in addition to President Trump. But it's funny how only Republicans are making that call for transparency and truth. People, leaks of classified information are dangerous. They put people's lives at risk. The leaks must stop. It is the epitome of selfishness to exact revenge against a political foe without any concern whatsoever for whether that leak could harm other people. Now, congressional Republicans won't comment on this. They won't come on TV shows, and that's bad. What's worse is congressional Democrats jumping to conclusions before they know the facts. I will never cease to be shocked at how the mainstream media runs with all the stories that are based solely on unnamed sources. A mainstream network had a report last night on the Comey memo that said, in effect, "We learned via an unnamed source about a memo that we haven't seen, but it was described to us." I read that and thought, are you kidding? Now, I get it. I get the privacy of sources is important in journalism, but it's gotten to the point where the mainstream media is using anonymity as a shield to tell people what to believe without providing any truth. That must stop, too. What the mainstream media won't tell you, if you're calling for impeachment without evidence, if you're not waiting for the facts of the Comey memo before you want to convict, who's inciting a constitutional crisis now? And that's my final point tonight. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and until then, have a good night.